All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Ivan was an old bear tracker. Tom was a man with dreams. And Ernie came along and I wrote the songs about a creature that few's ever seen. Monsters, myths, and mysteries, legend, tales, and facts. It brought us all together, and it's a reason for the fact. Up in North California, where the redwoods reach the skies, three men with a goal and a pact that they'd hold, and a promise till the day that they died. Answers to the questions no one's found before. Driving determination, the only key they had to unlock the door. Monsters, myths, and mysteries, legends, tales, and facts.
And welcome back, everyone. This is hour 2 of tonight's show, and we're coming to you on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, and on your hometown classic 1220 CFAJ AM here in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. And they stream us, not only broadcast us live to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Ontarians, people who live in the northern parts of New York and the state of Pennsylvania, but they also stream us at classic1220.ca. Exxon Nation, this hour, I welcome a truly fascinating guest, a guest that we've had on the show before, but not very recently, I might add, Jason OFFUTT. He's an award-winning journalist, university professor, and acclaimed author known for his deep dives into the paranormal, the unexplained, and the downright bizarre. From real-life monsters to shadow people to government secrets and UFO encounters, Jason has explored it all in his best-selling books like Darkness Walks, Chasing American Monsters, and What Lurks Beyond. With a sharp eye for evidence and a storyteller's voice, Jason brings credibility, curiosity, and a touch of wit to every tale. He's here tonight to pull back the veil of the strange phenomena that lurk just beyond the edge of the normal life. Buckle up, Exo Nation. We're going into the unknown. Joining me now is Jason OFFUTT. And Jason, welcome back to the X Zone. It's been way too long.
It has been way too long, Rob. Thank you so much. And wow, that introduction, you made me sound interesting.
Well, I know you, so I know how interesting you are. Jason, what was it that first sparked your interest in the paranormal and the unexplained?
Well, it had to do. Well, I was always one of those kids who preferred monster movies over, over any other type of movie. I would watch Star Trek reruns and Lost in Space reruns over Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and Sesame Street. So I always liked strange things, but it was in 1973 when it really hit me. There were in July that year, there were news reports out of Louisiana, Missouri, which is on the other side of the state from where I live, but still it was in my state, about Bigfoot encounters. A bunch of eyewitness Bigfoot encounters in my state, and it was in the newspaper. I tracked this for the like 3 or 4 weeks that they wrote stories on it, because it was in the newspaper, so Bigfoot's got to be real, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And exactly. And I'm a longtime journalist, so by golly, yes, it is. But that got me really interested in Bigfoot, because it wasn't just something that was in on a Saturday afternoon monster movie. I remember watching The Abominable Snowman from 1958 with Peter Cushing and Forrest
my
Tucker.
gosh.
It wasn't just that.
Yeah.
Well, did that bring back memories?
Yeah, it did. Black and white TV. Wow.
Absolutely.
They were the good old days. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, but that's what got me interested in. I don't know, 7, 8 years old about that time, and I lived on a farm, and I
Hmm.
drove mom crazy because that's all I would talk about. And I would disappear for hours in the afternoon, wandering the cornfields that surrounded our house, looking for Bigfoot footprints. And uh, yeah, she wanted to know where I was. Fancy that.
Did you tell her what you were doing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what did your mom say?
Well, she just didn't like me out in the corn, all afternoon by myself. But growing up where I did and when I did, a father who was a farmer, he was pretty much straight laced.
Hmm.
Everything is the way it is, and there's no such thing as Bigfoot or ghosts or any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
But my mom was really open to that sort of thing. So, yeah. When I was about 15 and all three of us saw a UFO over the farm,
Wow.
yeah, my dad kind of changed his tune as well.
I have an uncle who was a farmer in New Brunswick, and I must tell you something. Farmers are the hardest working people that are out there, and yet they're the most loving. And there's nothing more important to a farmer besides his crop and his animals than his family. So I can just imagine what it was like.
Right. And yeah, farmers are underappreciated.
That is so
Absolutely.
true.
And
That is
they're
so true. They are truly
kind-hearted people and extremely hardworking.
they are truly the backbone of America and Canada.
I agreed.
All right, so tell me about this UFO sighting.
Oh yeah, I was uh it was spring planting season. So dad was out really late
Hmm.
and his truck pulled up. It was already dark, probably I don't know, 10 o'clock, maybe 9 or 10. And he didn't come in. And mom sent me outside to go check on him. And he was leaning against his pickup. And I walk up to him and ask what's going on. And he points out in over the farm field that there was about a mile between us and the next house, and this field separated us. And he pointed up in the sky and he said, "Do you see that?" And I looked, and it was a just perfectly clear sky. And for those of your listeners who've never been out in the country away from light pollution of the city, it out in the country the stars
Oh
look like
gosh,
you can
yeah.
reach up and grab
Yeah.
them. Uh, but there was a spot in the sky. It looked like my best description is like an old uh, paper punch, a hole
Hmm.
punch. It looked like God had punched a hole in the sky. It was just black, and I looked at it and I saw it, and then he asked me to stop talking and just listen. And there was some weird hum that we both heard, and he sent me in, and I went and got mom, and mom came out and she saw and heard the same thing. And then the phone rang, and I ran in the house and answered it. We had cordless phones by that time, and it was our neighbor across the farm field asking if we saw the black shape over the field and if we could hear the hum. And at that point, it really hammered it in that, yeah, we're seeing this. It's something real. And mom went back in the house, and dad and I stood out there until the thing finally, I don't know how long we were out there, but the thing finally uh, rose up straight up in the air, and it eventually just disappeared in the distance.
My gosh.
I have no idea what it was, but it's unidentified.
Yeah. Tell me, how does your background in journalism influence your approach to the way that you do researching on the paranormal and this, supernatural phenomenon?
I It has helped me. If I were just going to go
Hmm.
into researching the paranormal, I wouldn't have a clue what I was doing, and I would call myself a ghost hunter or a monster hunter, or something like that. Um, it has me approach any esoteric topic unbiasedly. I do research just like I would if I were, writing a straight news story for a newspaper.
Right.
I interview people, what they experienced. I handle everything, like I did when I was in journalism. And I think that has given me a better viewpoint than a lot of other authors have, because they're believers already.
Yes, that's true.
And right, yeah, they are. They go in there. They're like a scientist who wants to prove his pet theory, and only uses the evidence that proves his point. It
Hmm.
doesn't, count the other stuff. So I think it is. I think my stories are extremely credible, just for the fact that I approach them as a journalist.
You've written everything from nonfiction to science fiction. How do you balance storytelling with actual investigative techniques?
Well, it's when it comes to, I've written science fiction, I've written horror, I've written comedy. It all sort of works out the same, because it doesn't matter if I'm writing about something completely far-fetched, scientific, or science fiction wise. It's got to be grounded in truth, because if it's not grounded in truth, it's going to be completely unbelievable.
Hmm.
Physics still has to work. The way people treat each other, the way people communicate, has to be normal, or it's not going to work for the reader. So I've used a lot of journalistic techniques when it comes to research and dialogue that I use with my nonfiction books.
In your
And
opinion,
and you said storytelling,
yeah,
and that's what I'm a storyteller. So I mean that's what I do with
but aren't
both types of writing.
credible researchers in the paranormal like yourself? Aren't you also historians?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Um, because there's always a history behind something. I've not really watched a lot of like ghost hunting shows, but the few that I have watched, I like it when they delve into the history of a spot or the
Yeah.
person who's supposed to be, the ghost there.
It adds credibility.
Totally, 100%. Yes. And
Uh,
and if I say
mm,
100% one more time, yeah, please yell at me. I think I've said it twice.
oh, no, no, no. You can say whatever you want to say 100%. It's okay with me.
All right.
Stand by, Jason. You and I have to take our short break. Exonation, our guest this hour is Jason Offutt. His website is jasonoffutt.com. That's JASONOFFUTT.com. And this is the X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard, Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until midnight. And I'm proud to say that here we are, 35 years, going on 36 years of doing this show. Why? Because the truth is out there. I want to find it. I really want to believe, but I want to see the proof. Now, people say, well, Rob, why do you do it if you don't believe? Well, gosh darn it. I've got the best job in the world because I can bring people on, like Jason, and get firsthand information. Now, there's three sides to every story, Exonation. His side, her side, and the truth. And what I try to do is bring as many sides to a story that I can so that you, the members of the Exo Nation, can make up your own minds and believe what you want to believe. We'll be back on the other side of this very short break. Don't go away.
Ivan was an old bear tracker. Tom was a man with dreams. And Ernie came along and I wrote.
Space, the final frontier. Specimen gathering mission on planet Alpha 177.
Mr. Spock is much stronger than the ordinary human being. Aroused, his great physical strength could kill. But it's a risk I'll have to take.
Something bothering you, Mrs. Spock?
May I say that I have not thoroughly enjoyed serving with humans. I find their illogic and foolish emotions a constant irritant.
Unlike you, we humans are full of unpredictable emotions.
Love, tenderness. Yes, yes. If I seem insensitive to what you're going through, Captain, understand. It's the way I am.
Don't be afraid. Here's my hand. Hold on.
You are beautiful. dream of beauty I've ever known.
What is your point, Mr. Spock?
I love you. I can love you.
Kiss me. You out of your mind?
The prospect appeared quite attractive to you a moment ago.
You don't really want to hurt me, do you? Put that thing away.
No, I don't think so.
No, I can. It's painless and quick.
Entry made by Second Officer Spock.
Possible we may have hit the wrong entry point.
Yes. Very well, Captain.
Try again.
If it pleases you.
What are you waiting for? Hurry!
If you'll excuse the intrusion, Captain.
Bury the hatchet.
An appropriate choice of terms, Captain. I won't fight you anymore.
I feel so weak. I'll be glad when this is over.
I'm behaving disgracefully.
Believe me, Mr. Spock. It was painful. In more ways than one. Ice out. Captain's log supplement. I've seen a part of myself no man should ever see.
I don't know why I have not been infected.
Thank you, Mr. Spock.
All around old Cape Horn, ships of the line, ships of the morn. Some who wish they'd never been born, they are the ghosts of Cape Horn. All around a riddle-de-rum with a rim-dim-diddy and a rum-dum-dum. Sailing away at the break of dawn, they are the ghosts of Cape Horn. See them all in sad repair, demons dance everywhere, southern gales, tattered sails, and none to tell the tale. Come all of you rusty ghosts.
And welcome back, everyone. That Star Trek parody is what happens when radio producers have way too much time on their hands. So I want to thank Craig West, my producer, for putting that together. I guess he deserves thanks. I don't know. We'll discuss it later, I guess. Jason Offutt is our special guest, jasonoffutt.com. Jason, in your opinion, what's the most compelling paranormal case you've ever investigated?
Okay, I have to take a step back for a second, if you don't mind, Rob. But I have seen This Side of Paradise, that episode, dozens upon dozens of times, and I don't remember that version.
That's because you don't know my Craig West.
That was hilarious. Well, I think one of the most interesting cases that I have written about, Art Bell made famous, Madman Mike Madman Markham. I'm sure a lot of your listeners probably recognize that name. He went on Art's show claiming he invented a time machine. I was familiar with that that story for a long time, and where I moved to teach college. One day I was listening to a radio show and I heard about, I heard that again, and I'm like, wait a second, I know who that is. What? Are you kidding me? The town that he invented his time machine in is 27 miles from where I'm living right now.
Whoa, there you go.
So I had to write a story about it. He appeared in 1993 in the New York Times because he tried to invent a time machine, and he got caught because when he turned his machine on, it knocked all of the power to the town that he was living in. It knocked all the power out, and he got arrested. So that, made the local news, and that hit the AP wire, and it was in the Times and all sorts of papers. But people believed him. He went on Coast to Coast back in 1995, I think, And he was on a couple of other times, and in 1997 claimed that he had gotten enough donations from people that he built a man-sized time machine, and he was going to jump into it, and then he disappeared. And nobody had heard from him since 1997.
So he disappeared, and so did all the money that people sent him to make the time machine. All
Well,
right,
yeah,
okay.
actually,
All right, gotcha.
I was able to track him down about, I don't know, 11 years ago. And the story he told me is he had gotten enough donations that he rented a warehouse and built his new time machine and did experiments like he would throw a grapefruit in it, and the grapefruit would disappear. And later, out in the parking lot of the warehouse, he'd find the grapefruit. And he was like, okay, cool, this is working. And he bought guinea pigs and did the same thing. And the guinea pigs were out in the parking lot, but the guinea pigs were dead. And he figured that the guinea pig's system's just too small and fragile. He had to jump into it himself, and he did. And he said the next thing he knew, he was lying in a field that was covered in snow. And he didn't know who he was. He didn't know where he was. He walked until somebody picked him up. He ended up in a homeless shelter and didn't get his memory back until about a year later. And he was in Cincinnati at the time. And he went back to where he had his warehouse, which was in Kansas City, Missouri, and it had been emptied out. He had no proof whatsoever of what he'd done, but he said he was done with time travel.
I guess so. He should have called up Jeff Goldblum, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what did you make of that story? Like, here you were talking to him, what was it, face to face?
I talked to him on the phone. He was in Cincinnati. I was in Northwest Missouri.
So what did you take away from the conversation?
He sounded serious. The thing is, he had like 1 or 2 years in trade school to learn about electronics. So could he have invented a time machine? You know, most probably not. But quoting the arresting officer from back in 1993, who I interviewed, not in 1993. I didn't have a time machine, but the guy was still around, and he said, I don't personally think he invented a time machine, but he was pretty certain of it.
Just imagine inventing a time machine, going forward and getting those lottery numbers, coming back. You see, that's my idea of what to do with a time machine. Go forward, get the lottery numbers.
You are right on the money, because when he said because what happened? He built a Jacob's ladder.
Okay.
You know, one of those. Dr. Frankenstein had one on a shelf somewhere, and he saw this weird heat signature that shouldn't have been there because of the electricity, and he threw something at it and it disappeared, and then it reappeared. It fell on the table farther, on down the kitchen table, and he was like, "I've invented a time machine. I need to build a man-sized one so I can go in the future and get the lottery numbers and come back."
Oh, man after my own heart.
That's exactly. He wasn't trying to, increase the body of knowledge or improve mankind. He just wanted to get some money.
I'm still wondering why psychics don't do that.
That's a great point. Let's hope they're all ethical. That's why.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I said, let's hope they're all ethical. That's why they don't do it.
I've never heard ethical and psychics been put in a sentence before doing the show for 35 years.
I like to be the first of something.
You're 100% right. I figured I'd throw in the 100% there.
Thank you. I'm glad you did.
Yeah. So that's the weirdest, and I can understand why.
Yeah, that's one of the most fun to me.
Well, what's your take on these shadow people that a lot of paranormal investigators and ghost hunters are seeing? Are they ghosts or interdimensional beings or something else entirely brought back by the guy's time machine, maybe? Who knows?
Well, I'm going to say all of the above.
Okay.
I interviewed more than 250 people around the world. I mean, it's from not just the U.S. and Canada, Brazil, Mexico, South Africa, Europe, Australia. I mean, all over the place. And people are seeing something.
Yeah.
And they all look the same, roughly the same. But there are some of these shadow people who behave differently. And I put them into different categories. Benign shadows. These are just shadow beings that are two-dimensional, and they just walk through a room. They take no notice of you whatsoever. They just walk by and keep going. It's like they're going from point A to point B, and you just happen to be in the middle. And these seem to be. I mean, I hate to use one unknown to prove another unknown. That's just not solid science at all.
Mm-hmm.
But John Keel and other people who've been involved in the paranormal over the decades, he said that there were window areas that were thin, that other dimensions were right next door, right, and somebody could maybe pass through. And that's what he accredited Mothman, to going through one of those window areas. But I'm wondering if maybe shadow people are, some shadow people are just people, us, in another dimension, walking by a thin area between the dimensions, and that's all we can see of them. Maybe we're shadow people to them.
Maybe.
The other shadow people that behave like residual ghosts. They, every once in a while, somebody will be sitting in the living room, and a shadow person walks down the stairs, turns left, and goes into the kitchen, and that's all you ever see of them.
Jason, we've got to take a break. Please stand by. And Exonation, Jason OFFUTT is our special guest, www.jasonoffutt.com. And we'll be back. And my producer tells me he has another William Shatner Star Trek to come back with. Do I have to play it? He says it's good. That's what he said about the last one, too. We'll be back on the other side of this short break. Don't go away.
See them all in sad repair, demons dance everywhere, southern gales, tattered sails, and none to tell the tale. Come on, love you, rusty.
I'm not a Starfleet commander or T.J. Hooker. I don't live on Starship NCC-170 or own a phaser. I don't know anyone named Bones, Sulu, or Spock. And no, I've never had green alien sex. But I'm sure it'd be quite an evening. I speak English and French, not Klingon. I drink Labatt's, not Romulan ale. And when someone says to me, live, long, and prosper, I seriously mean it when I say get a life. My doctor's name is not McCoy, it's Ginsburg. And tribbles were puppets, not real animals. Puppets! And when I speak, I never ever talk like every word is its own sentence. But I was raised in Montreal. And yes, I've gone where no man has gone before, but I was in Mexico and her father gave me permission. My name is William Shatner, and I am
those strangers that come every night, those saucer-shaped lights put people uptight. Leave blue-green footprints that glow in the dark. I hope they get home all right. Hey, Mr. Spaceman, won't you please take me along? I won't do anything wrong. Hey, Mr. Spaceman, won't you please take me along for a ride? Woke up this morning, I was feeling...
And welcome back, everyone. Proud to have Bill Shatner be our Canadian cheerleader over here, after all. Trying times, the tariffs, the problems between the President of the United States wanting to take over Canada's the 51st state. And, well, you know what the heck, eh? We're in good company. He wants the Panama Canal. He wants Greenland. And he also wants the Gaza Strip to turn it into Trump land of the Middle East. So what the heck, we're in good company. Jason Offutt is my special guest this hour, Exonation. JaceOfFutt.com is his website. And Jason, you've written about real monsters in Chasing American Monsters. Which cryptid fascinates you, besides Bigfoot?
Oh, that's a great question. Besides Bigfoot, I think, and this is going to be, you don't want this. This is a boring answer. This is the thylacine from Australia, the Tasmanian tiger, or, called the Tasmanian wolf, because it was real.
Yeah.
It was a real creature that, I think it was 1936, the last one died in the Hobart Zoo. And it had been around. It was there were huge ones back in the Pleistocene era. Of course, there was large fauna everywhere. But anyway, when the British settled Australia, they brought sheep, and this was a predator who was like, wait a second, these things look delicious. So there was a bounty put on them, and they were wiped out. They were declared extinct back in the 80s. But people see them all the time. Which makes it a cryptid because it was declared extinct. I would love for one of these to be discovered. Actually, I'd like to have one as a pet. They look adorable.
There you go. Quick question: what is your take on the Patterson-Gimlin film?
The first time I saw it when I was a kid, I don't know, maybe it was on some show. It could have been on In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy. I don't remember, but it just blew my mind. Absolutely. And over the years, I've viewed it here and there, and read people's commentary on it. And there are people who are saying it's faked because of this, and it's real because of this. But I'm looking back at when it was made. The best, costumes were in 1968's Planet of the Apes, and I still love the makeup. I still think it works for me, but also costumes of gorillas that a normal person could get back then were obviously fake. This wasn't. There was a face, okay, that it was pretty telling to me. There's muscle definition.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
There's apparently a baby, and but the thing that really convinces me that this thing is probably real is the fact that Patty has breasts. If a couple of men faked this back in 1967, they wouldn't have thought to make it a female.
Well, it all depends on what the men had on their mind, and how things were going on at home and how much they had to drink that night. Typical men stuff.
I don't know. She's a strong woman, yes, but it's probably hairier than the normal American would like.
Well, Patterson's past was not that honest. Like, he was a showman,
right?
He had put.
Which I understand. Yeah, and that's the black eye. That is a black eye. Mm-hmm. Also, the fact that they rented the camera and they said, we're going to go shoot footage of a Bigfoot. And they did. So there's a lot to doubt, and I probably should doubt it, honestly. I mean, I do doubt to some extent, but how so? To quote Fox Mulder, I want to believe.
Exactly. Exactly. And it seems that the one main thing that is missing in all encounters of the paranormal is proof. Proof. You know, we've got every cell phone has a high definition camera in it. And we are getting fewer pictures of paranormal events, UFOs, ghost hauntings, things that go bump in the night, than before, since these new cameras have been invented. There's fewer pictures coming across, and the ones that are very easily discerned as AI.
I know, but Rob, think of this. And
Okay.
this is something that I put a lot of thought into. Let's say you're in the wilderness.
Okay.
And a lot of Bigfoot encounters happen at night. But even if this one happened during the day, you're in the wilderness and all of a sudden you hear something trudging through the woods. It sounds big. Small trees are being knocked over. All right. And all of a sudden you see this 8 to 10 foot tall, 800-pound, hairy beast that smells like a skunk staring you down. Are you going to pull out your phone and take a picture of it?
What I would say is, Hilda, where have you been?
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness,
there's no way I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to get the heck out of there.
I don't know. If I'm going into the woods with the expressed idea of trying to prove a Bigfoot exists, I would have my camera on the ready.
Okay, but there's a difference with that.
Oh.
Most encounters of anything paranormal are not with people who are actively seeking them. They're accidents. It just happens.
But why is that?
They're not ready.
But why is that?
Well, why is it?
Is it because the person who is looking for the event to document is not projecting the idea that they are going to see something, they are going to hear something. If it happens, it happens. Whereas a person who is an avid believer, I don't know, they can make things happen mentally, subjectively, whenever they want.
Yeah, but let's look at a deer hunter.
Okay.
How many deer hunters go out there for an entire deer season and never see a thing?
Not very many.
But there are some.
Well, it all depends what they're doing in the blind. They don't call it a blind for nothing.
There are also going to be more deer out there in North America than there are Bigfoot. So I guess that's not a fair comparison. But I'm just saying.
I thought it was good.
Well, there are a lot of. I mean, when it comes to ghosts, I mean, I've had so many people talk to me about how can I see a ghost. I'm like, if you go out looking for them, you're not going to find it.
But how can you see a ghost if they're supposed to be translucent?
I saw a full-bodied apparition when I was younger.
You're kidding. Tell me about that.
No. Well, the house I grew up in was 120 years old at the time that I was a kid.
Oh boy.
So it's like roughly 450 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a schoolhouse. It was a 2-room schoolhouse. For the longest time, and then my grandparents bought it, and then we lived in it after the grandparents were gone. And anyway, so I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I walked out of my bedroom. There was a hallway right across, from my door, and that's where we kept our bookshelves. And I walked in there. I was going to grab a World Book Encyclopedia, probably D for dinosaur, because that's what I was really fascinated with. And there was a little boy about 6-7 years old. He had black hair parted on the left side. He had a blue flannel shirt and blue jeans, and I could see the bookshelf through him. And we stood there and kind of stared at each other, and then I have no idea how long it was. Could have been 5 seconds, could have been, 45 seconds. I have no idea, but he blinked, and that broke my shock, and I turned around and went into my bedroom and shut the door. And then I didn't tell anybody for at least 30 years about it, but I saw something.
Right.
And that gripped me, because I have never since then worried about death, because I saw something that was after that.
Stand by.
And when it comes to people not believing about the paranormal, they just haven't experienced it yet.
Stand by, my friend. We've got to take our final break. Exo Nation, Jason OFFUTT is our special guest. www.JasonOFFUTT.com. That's JasonOFFUTT.com. And we'll be back on the other side of the short break as we wrap up tonight's show here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, and your hometown radio, Classic 1220, CFAJ AM in St. Catharines, streaming us on classic1220.ca.
Mr. Spaceman, won't you please take me along? I won't do anything wrong. Hey, Mr. Spaceman, won't you please take me along for a ride? Woke up this morning, I was feeling quite weird. Had flies in my...
Well, I just got back from Roswell, where the aliens have been. And if you ask the feds the cause, well, they'll only lie again. Now I'm hunted by the gumshoes, and I'm wanted by the cops, 'cause they think that I might be the guy making circles in the crops. And I know that there's a conspiracy from the voices in my head. Elvis lives, that's clear to me. It's McCartney who is dead. And if the Mars man should come again and take me, I will go. I will take a trip on their rocket ship. God bless the UFO. Give JFK this message. It's the Cuban Army's fault. And I know that Dave Koresh is alive inside a vault. We've seen reports in papers of a guy who knows about a car that runs on chewing gum, but the Arabs rubbed him out. And we loudly warn that America is badly unprepared. With the Cold War through, we need something new that can get you good and scared. Do you wonder just who is warning you of conspiracies today? We're the ones who fill the rumor mill. We are the CIA.
Myself, why should I work so hard? Sit and dream about the days to come. Half a dress just soaking up the sun. Sitting here, I hope I don't get fried. 2 years ago, you know, I almost died. And yet there's nothing better for your soul than lying in the sun and listen to rock and roll. Sunny days.
Ah, there you have Sunny Days by my favorite band of all time here in Canada, Lighthouse. I had the pleasure of working with Skip Brokaw at one of the radio stations that the X Zone was in our earlier years. A fantastic guy, fantastic group. Sorry that Skip has passed, and he is certainly missed by one and all. Our guest this hour is Jason OFFUTT. And Jason, I have to ask you, with what President Trump is trying to do with Alcatraz, how do you think that the people who run the tours there are going to make out? Do you think that in fact he will recommission Alcatraz?
I think that's something he just said off the cuff. I don't think he really meant it. I mean, how much work would have to be done to that facility to bring it back to where people could actually live there?
Yeah, well,
I know they'd be in prison,
Yeah.
but still.
You know, one of the reasons he gave was because his favorite mobster, Al Capone, was there. And don't forget, nobody ever escaped Alcatraz, according to the president.
According to the president. I want to apologize to the entire nation of Canada from the citizens of the United States of America.
Oh Lord. Apology accepted.
You guys would have a huge influx of new citizens willing to be Canadian, but you guys don't want us.
That's where you're wrong, my friend. We are welcoming an untold number of professors and scholars from the United States up here now.
What, professors? Really?
Yeah, because of what is happening.
I'll have to look into it more.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. And listen, we love Americans. We really do. And it's hurting us as much as it hurts our friends in the States. We just want to figure out, what the hell did we do that was wrong? I know he's saying it's because of the fentanyl, 0.000, whatever it was. And then it's because of the dairy products that we don't allow to go down to the States. Well, there's a maximum that's never been reached. So, keep on with the dairy products. I just think it's crazy. I really do. He wants to make us the 51st state. He calls our prime minister a governor, and then he wants to take the Panama Canal back, and he wants to take Greenland, and he wants to make, the Gaza Plateau into a Trump land. Mind you, I'm still waiting for somebody to give me a $400 million luxury jet, and I guess I'm going to wait a long time.
Right.
It's the good people that suffer in all of this.
Well, and that's the case with every government that does something that only the government wants.
Yeah.
It's the good people who suffer. And this is, oh my gosh, I've been beating my head against the wall for months now. But here's the most optimistic, because I'm a journalist at heart, and I pay attention to the news all the time. And this is the most optimistic headline I have read in a couple of months. And here it is.
Okay.
Universe will die much sooner than expected, new research says.
My favorite one is, if President Trump wants a parade, all he needs to do is resign.
Right. Yes. That would get a big one. Oh. Everybody's celebrating in the streets.
Well, you know what? He was put in by the majority of people. It was fair. It was honest. He is the president. And, he's a law-abiding citizen.
No, he's not.
Oh, I know. I was being very sarcastic there.
Okay, good.
The funny part is there's actually a petition going around up here in Canada to keep him away from the G7. Because according to the immigration and the Canadian law, anyone with a criminal record can be denied entry into Canada without a visa. So a whole bunch of Canadians are signing this petition and going to present it to our new prime minister and new cabinet, saying, "Hey, how many counts has he been convicted of? We don't want him in Canada."
Well, I mean, it's a safety factor.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Well, it's when it comes to immigration, I've proposed at my university a study abroad class next summer, where we would go. We would start off in Paris and go to the catacombs. It's a travel writing class.
Oh, wow.
That focuses on the paranormal, and we'd be going to from there through the Channel. Look for vampires in London. Go to the Whitechapel district. I've already got an interview set up with druids at Stonehenge, witches, witch coven in Birmingham, and we'd end up at Loch Ness on the lake looking for the monster, and that sounds like so much fun.
It does.
But I'm thinking, am I going to get back into my own country?
I had a guest come on the show within the last 2 weeks who teaches at a university. And he said, Rob, whatever you do, do not talk about politics because of everything that is going on in the universities. I could be in trouble. I said, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I could be now too, but I yeah. Sometimes you just have to say things.
Yeah. Well, whatever happened to freedom of speech?
Which is a great question.
Freedom of the
well,
press.
Freedom of speech, or we're also looking at somebody. Somebody asked Trump, a reporter, about do you have to follow the Constitution?
Yeah,
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my God! I don't know why people are afraid of him. You know, Republicans they talk in very close-knit corners about what he's doing wrong, and when it comes to making a decision that would, well, what was the last one he did? Oh my God! Well, look at this poor guy still in El Salvador.
Oh yeah, that's which is unconscionable. It's so sad.
It is.
It's like America right now is. There were bad Monty Python skits. Everybody thinks everything Monty Python did was brilliant. Much of it was. But they had a few turkeys now and again.
Yep.
America right now, the United States, is a bad Monty Python skit.
But you know what? It's a few. When you look at the number of people in the United States, it's the people at the helm of the SS Titanic that are the issue, not the passengers. You know what I mean?
Well, right. I mean, do you think the majority of Russia wants to, be in this? What is it? The third year now, the war against the Ukraine? No, they don't. They don't want to do it at all.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wasn't that war stopped the first day Trump came into power?
Yeah. Right, it did, yeah. It was totally stopped, and there's nothing going on between, Israel and the Palestinians. Nothing at all. Yeah, because it all stopped.
Oh, I know. It's a strange world these days, my friend, and I really look forward to the day when things return to normal, if they ever do. I heard an interview the other day where somebody was speaking about the Supreme Court justices, and they were talking about one of the rulings against Trump. And the reporter said, well, what happens if the president does not comply? Are the marshals going to arrest him? And the judge said, he makes the rules as he go along. How can we arrest the president of the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least you're up north.
Well, anytime you want,
I'm down here.
Anytime you want to come up, my door will always be open for you, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Hey,
listen. You have no idea what you just did.
Oh, yes, I did. You and I could have a hell of a good time.
I'll bring beer.
Oh, all right. Oh, no, bring Jack Daniels. We can't have it up here anymore.
Okay, I'll bring Jack. Yeah, I'll bring Jack Daniels.
Hey, listen, I want to thank you ever so much for joining us. It's a great pleasure talking to you again. It's been way too long. And take care of yourself and just keep the great work up.
Hey, thank you so much, Rob. This has been such a great time. And yes, I would tell you to keep the great work up, but you've been doing it for long enough. I don't have to tell you that at all.
You're very kind, my friend. Take care of yourself and X-Zone Nation. A big thanks to Jason OFFUTT for joining us tonight and taking us on an unforgettable journey into the world of the unexplained. Now, if you'd like to explore more of Jason's work, whether it's monsters, UFO, ghosts, or government oddities, no reference to President Trump there, I think. Visit his website at www.jasonoffutt.com. That's JASONOFFUTT.com. And remember, X-Zone Nation, stay curious, question the shadows, and never stop exploring the mysteries that surround us. Until tomorrow night, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.